I am an autumn child, so naturally I am very drawn to autumn activity, and I had been threatening for a while that I was going to spice up the backdrop a little bit and do stuff, and so we officially have like a lot of stuff going on. We got more posters, spiders have invaded the backdrop, there's Kuromi, because what is more Halloween than Kuromi, a giant spider, the Beware tape, and then of course over here we got our friendly ghost, Bob. We're gonna name him Bob the Ghost. But you know what really is spooky and nightmare inducing? Not getting enough sleep. I hope you guys are drinking water. I hope you're getting good night sleeps. I'm sure as fuck not. But throughout my stay in the metal community, I've heard a lot of different people talk about different bands, different albums from a variety of different subgenres that you might not even expect that help them calm down and get in the good mindset to go And so I wanted to bring you my personal list, and I wanted to hear your list down in the comment section below. What albums, if any, give you a nice mindset to calm down and get ready for bed? The one thing I will shout out that I can't personally relate to is the amount of people, the sheer number of people that can fall asleep to the most heavy of music. Which honestly, fair, good on you if you're capable of doing that. Although I feel like if you're able to fall asleep to like very raw black metal or like brutal death metal, are you sure you don't have narcolepsy? And that's coming from someone who genuinely needs music to be able to sleep or some form of noise. Like truthfully, if there's an ambient music or an album playing or a podcast or someone talking or an air conditioner blasting or a fan blasting, I literally cannot sleep. But without further ado, let's talk about the bands that I think fit the vibe of what could calm you down into dreamland. One of the first bands that came to my mind that I've definitely unwinded to before that I don't think I see mentioned a lot is Black Sabbath. I think it definitely depends on what era of Black Sabbath you're talking about and what time frame, what song, what album, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that the Aussie era specifically of Black Sabbath is the perfect vibe to be able to just drift away or just to calm you down a little bit. Even though it is very murky and it's sludgy and it's very doomy and Ozzy's voice is sort of this ominous, eerie labyrinth in a composition, I think that is the very reason that it does fit the criteria. It gets you in that slow, murky trudge, and a lot of the songs, while they are very compositionally exciting and cool and fresh and unique and some of the best metal you'll ever hear if you just want to listen to music in general, I think that Black Sabbath can really get in your bones and get you in a good mindset to be able to just calm down a little bit. And a lot of the crooning songs that Ozzy performed in, I think really do just vibe well. Another one that kind of fits the same general atmosphere, even if it isn't the same exact vibe, would be Typo Negative. Generally speaking, I feel like I have fallen asleep to Typo Negative before, specifically October Rust, which is my favorite Typo Negative album, but there is something about just the doominess of the instrumentation, how gloomy it is. It definitely makes you feel lackadaisical and all melancholic, and Peter Steele's low, sultry type of vocals just guide you through every single song. There's just something about the progression that gets me in a nice mindset. The number one band that I have fallen asleep to in terms of I have fallen asleep to this band dozens of times, and this was my go-to until I started sleeping to like ambient music and stuff, would be The Contortionist. Specifically the albums Clairvoyant and Language, but mostly Clairvoyant because it doesn't have as heavy instrumentation or heavy vocals, and it is just the perfect vibe for me. I don't know what exactly it is because it's not necessarily the softest thing, but the progressive metal dimension and texture and depth that they pack into their music, and the vocalist's clarity and smoothness and the crisp production just sounds beautiful. Not only is the music just very gorgeous in its own right, but it also just takes you away into like a fantasy land. And if you want a new band to check out The Contortionist. They also have a pretty good deathcore era with records like Exoplanet, if that's your thing. I love a lot of folk metal, I love a lot of atmosphere, but Nightwish takes the cake in terms of very pretty, orchestral, theatrical instrumentation that really does whisk you away into a fantasy world. It feels like the Chronicles of Narnia, and I'm specifically referring to the Tarja era because that's the era that I was the most well acclimated with and fell in love with, and what made me love Nightwish to begin with. That is in no way a diss to the other eras of Nightwish. They still make some very pretty music, and they've never really had a bad era in my opinion, even though some people say that they do. But obviously Nightwish isn't super heavy, it's very symphonic, it's very theatrical, and it just feels very pretty, and I feel like this is the type of music you could lucid dream to if you tried hard enough. It just reads like an illuminating enchanted forest and you're resting your head in like the Goldilocks house. Two bands that are kind of adjacent to metal but obviously are a little bit more rock would be Godspeed You Black Emperor as well as Indie Halda. Enjoy Eternal Bliss by Indie Halda is one of my favorite post-metal, post-rock albums of all time, and Godspeed You Black Emperor, I don't think I have to tell anyone that's heard Godspeed You Black Emperor just how beautiful and how long-lasting their compositions are. The production is phenomenal, some of the best post-rock and post-metal ever made. Both of these bands are very well packed, they're very pretty, a lot of dimension to their instrumentation, but they also have these long periods of lulls. They don't necessarily stick in one place for too long, and they're very long, so by the time you're done with a song, you might be asleep. They're just very good for sort of turning your brain off and dissociating and just getting lost in your own mind. A band that comes up very often when people talk about this, and I can understand it because me too, is Sun. Now obviously I don't think this is going to be the type of thing for everyone. If you don't like creepiness while you're going to sleep, I don't think this will be for you, but obviously when you're trying to sleep, you're trying to turn your brain off, and a lot of people that have like anxiety or racing thoughts or can't turn their mind off, that's the main reason that they develop insomnia and can't sleep or get night terrors or nightmares or whatever. And so Sun is like the perfect answer to that, or any drone metal for that matter, because it is, by definition, a drone. It is one long rolling composition where it can literally be the same riff for like 20 minutes long, and all of Sun's material I think would be very good if you just want to be devoid of thought, devoid of emotion, and just let it wash over you and make you feel kind of claustrophobic. It is a great way of just getting lost because it just keeps playing over and over and over and over, and it just keeps going and it keeps winding. It doesn't necessarily have busyness, and if you're someone that likes to focus on music and can't sleep with a lot going on, drone metal, specifically Sun, would be a great answer to that. And then I'm a big Agalloch fan. I've talked a lot about this. I feel like the Mantle or just any music from Agalloch fits this. I feel like it definitely depends on what you're talking about, and if you don't like intermittent heaviness in your music, it may not be for you, but it is so pretty, it's so multifaceted, and I definitely have just laid in bed staring at the ceiling and really winding down to the Mantle before, as well as other music from Agalloch. They are a perfect vibe for that in my opinion. But what records or bands or artists, metal or otherwise, do you sleep to or unwind to or makes you feel calm? You can let me know down in the comment section below your list and your thoughts of my list. Agree or disagree, there is no wrong answer. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.